Look around you. If you're in an office right now, chances are you can see at least a dozen other people. Close up, murmurs, chair wheels, office hum. You can probably hear Dave from accounting loudly describing his weekend gastrointestinal adventures. You might even be able to smell the questionable tuna salad that Susan from marketing microwaved 3 hours ago. This, we are told, is the future of work. It's called an open plan office. It was sold to us with a beautiful glossy brochure. Brochure shots, smiling people pointing at whiteboards. Brochure shots, staged, synergistic breakthroughs. It was supposed to foster collaboration. It was supposed to foster innovation. It was supposed to foster a vibrant company culture. It was a lie, a bold, audacious, and frankly insulting lie. The open office isn't a hub of creative energy, it's a meticulously designed system of control, masquerading as a playground for adults. Think about it. We were promised a workplace utopia. Ideas flowing as freely as kombucha on tap. Instead, we got a human warehouse. Primary activities, trying to find a quiet corner to take a phone call. Let's talk about the big buzzword they used to sell us this nightmare collaboration. Oh, the collaboration we would have. Spontaneous brainstorms would erupt over the recycled wood and steel communal tables. Serendipitous encounters by the artisanal coffee machine would solve complex problems that had baffled entire departments for weeks. The air itself would crackle with the electricity of shared genius. It sounds wonderful, doesn't it? It sounds like an episode of a TV show about a plucky startup that's about to change the world. It is, of course, complete and utter fiction. The kind of fiction that makes you wonder if the people who wrote it have ever actually met a human being. The reality of the open office is that it actively kills meaningful collaboration. When you're sitting in a giant room with 50 other people, the last thing you want to do is start a loud, spontaneous conversation about a new project. Why? Because you know it will instantly annoy the 37 people around you who are desperately trying to concentrate on their own work. So what happens? Instead of talking, we retreat. We put on giant, noise-canceling headphones that scream, "Do not perceive me." We send emails and instant messages to the person sitting literally 3 feet away, because it's less disruptive than actually speaking to them. The very tool designed to increase face-to-face interaction has made us all digital hermits. The promise of synergy was a Trojan horse. It was a pleasant-sounding excuse to implement a system that benefits the company's bottom line, not the employees' productivity or well-being. It's the worst of all possible worlds. Now, for this next part, we need to talk about an 18th century philosopher named Jeremy Bentham. Yes, I know, stay with me. Bentham designed a hypothetical prison called the Panopticon. The design was simple: a central guard tower, a ring of cells. The guards in the tower could see into every cell, but the prisoners couldn't see the guards. The prisoners never knew if they were being watched, so they had to assume they were always being watched. As a result, they policed their own behavior. It's a brilliantly sinister concept for ensuring compliance. And guess what? You're probably working in a modern, carpeted version of it right now. Your open plan office is a corporate panopticon. There may not be a literal guard tower, though I wouldn't put it past some companies, but the effect is exactly the same. The lack of walls, the low-rise partitions, the glass-encased conference rooms, it's all designed to create a state of constant visibility. Your manager doesn't have to get up from their desk, they just have to lift their head. Let's be honest. The human brain is not a supercomputer. It's more like an old, easily distractible laptop with way too many tabs open. It requires peace and quiet for deep thought. Writing a report, analyzing data, coding, any task your boss pays you to do. Now imagine using that laptop in the middle of a carnival. Clowns honking, music blasting from a ride, someone tapping your shoulder asking about a lost child. That is your brain in an open office. Every single sound is a potential distraction. Every conversation, every phone call, every sneeze, every crinkle of a snack bag, tiny pebbles hitting your window of concentration. Your brain processes all of this irrelevant information and gets pulled away from your work. This isn't personal weakness, it's cognitive neuroscience. Our brains are hardwired to notice novel stimuli. It used to help spot saber-toothed tigers. Today it ruins your ability to ignore loud typing. Now you might be thinking, okay John, you're being a little dramatic. Is there any actual proof for all this? Or are you just mad because you can't watch cat videos at your desk? And that's a fair question, to which I say, oh, you want proof? I'll give you proof. The evidence against open offices isn't just anecdotal, it's overwhelming, it's scientific, it's been piling up for years, and one of the most damning pieces of evidence comes from, of all places, Harvard. Yes, that Harvard. The one that sounds smart even when you just say the name. In 2018, Harvard Business School ran a study that should have been the final nail in the open office coffin. They studied 2 Fortune 500 companies that were transitioning to open plan layouts. They tracked employees before and after the switch, using wearable sensors, using email data. And what did they find? Did collaboration skyrocket? Did face-to-face interactions blossom into a beautiful garden of synergy? Of course not. Face-to-face interactions decreased by a staggering 70%. Email use went up by around 50%. So we've established that open offices make you less productive and more distracted. But honestly, the damage doesn't stop there. The negative effects go much deeper, seeping into your mental and emotional well-being. The constant noise, the lack of privacy, that feeling of being perpetually watched, create this perfect storm for stress, anxiety, and eventual burnout. This isn't a bug in the system, it's actually a core feature. The open office is an environment designed to wear you down until you have nothing left to give. Let's start with the lack of control. A core part of psychological health is having autonomy over your environment. Control the lighting, control the temperature, control the level of social interaction. Open offices strip you of all of that. You can't turn down the volume of the sales team celebration. You can't put up a wall to signal that you need to focus. You're a passive recipient of the room's chaos. That learned helplessness is a classic trigger for stress and anxiety. One of the other big, fluffy selling points of the open office was that it would flatten hierarchies. The idea was that by removing the corner offices and putting everyone on the same open floor, from the CEO to the intern, we would create a more democratic and egalitarian workplace. Managers would be more approachable. Executives would be just another member of the team. Power structures would dissolve into a beautiful puddle of collaborative equality. It's a lovely thought. And like every other promise of the open office, it is a complete and utter fantasy, a dangerous one at that. Here's a newsflash. Putting your boss at a desk 10 feet away from you doesn't magically erase the power dynamic between you. Your boss can still fire you. Your boss still approves your vacation days. Your boss still determines whether you get a raise. The hierarchy hasn't been flattened. It's just been made more visible and, honestly, more oppressive. Instead of a manager in a separate office you can approach on your own terms, you have a manager who is a constant, looming presence. Every keystroke you make, every website you visit, every conversation you have is happening within their immediate line of sight. So, you're trapped. You're sitting in your corporate panopticon. Your brain is scrambled, your stress levels are through the roof. And you're starting to think that Jeremy Bentham was a real piece of work. What can you do? Quitting your job and becoming a hermit who lives in a forest yurt. Tempting, but perhaps not the most practical option. The good news is there are small, subtle acts of rebellion you can engage in to reclaim a sliver of your sanity and focus. It's time to fight back. Quietly, of course, because everyone is watching. First, headphones. Big, beautiful noise-canceling headphones. They are your first and best line of defense. They are the universal symbol for "I am on a deadline." Second, become a master of strategic migration. Your assigned desk is not your prison cell. Get to know your office landscape. Is there an empty conference room you can book for an hour under the guise of a deep work session? Is there an uncomfortable armchair in a forgotten corner of the lobby? Look, we've had some fun here tonight. We've talked about 18th century prisons, sad office plants, the synchronized suffering of the modern worker. But this is not just a joke. This is a serious problem affecting the mental health of millions of people. And the productivity of millions of people. For decades, we have been fed a corporate-sponsored lie. We have been told these chaotic spaces are good for us, stressful, dehumanizing. We have been told they make us more creative, more collaborative, more connected. It is time right now to call bullshit on that, loudly, preferably while standing on a desk. The first step in any revolution is awareness. You now know the truth. You know that open offices are not about collaboration. They are about control, cost-cutting. You know about the Panopticon Effect. You know what the science says. You are now armed with information, and that is a powerful weapon. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you found value in this video, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Hit the like button if this was helpful, and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Have questions or suggestions for future videos? Drop them in the comments below. See you in the next one.